How come it's not live?
It takes a second. Okay, here. There it goes.
It's streaming? Okay. I'm just not getting it on my, oh, there it is, yeah. Okay, everybody. Late, but at least I made it. Gonna do a Messier hunt tonight. And for those that don't know, Messier, there's nobody listening, so why do we even say that? So,
Well, you say it in case people go back.
okay. Oh, that's right. That's right. Thank you for your input, Ms. Producer. Yeah. So, okay. Yeah, I got corrected on that. I've got to. There we go. I got to figure out how to kill my audio here because I hear myself talking delayed, and that's not good. Okay, let's go back here. I think. Therefore, I was. That killed the audio input. The desktop audio. Audio output. Capture. Okay, there we go. Now we go. Okay, yeah, like I was saying, Messier, Charles Messier was an 18th century astronomer that was looking for. Oh, I didn't kill the audio output. I thought I had, but I didn't. I'm hearing myself delayed.
Oh, that's because you have your YouTube channel on.
Oh, okay, duh.
I'm gonna close this.
Thank you,
Now try.
thank you. Boy, I'm glad I've got a high-paid producer here. Okay, so starting over, Charles Messier was an 18th century astronomer, and he was looking for comets, and he kept seeing these fuzzy things in the sky that he thought were comets, and he would go back to them the next night, and they hadn't moved. And so he kept started keeping a log of them so that he would know that, okay, that's not a comet, don't waste any time on it. And in his lifetime, he put, I think it was 103 objects in, and after his death, there were several more added from his notes that he had made to bring the list to 110. And amateur astronomers and amateur picture takers like me like to take pictures of those, and it's kind of a goal to get all 110 of them. I've got 8 left to go, and we're going to try and get 5 or 6 of them tonight. If I get 5 of them, I'll be really tickled. What you're looking at right here on the screen, this bright star here is Polaris, and what we have to do is align our telescope on Polaris. And I use a program called Polemaster that is a camera that takes a picture of the sky, and what you do is set it up, and I'm going to just show you how we do this. And I'm going to set the gain up just a little more so maybe the stars are a little brighter for you. And what we do is we click on Polaris right there, the bright star, and you'll see up in the left corner circle there. And then what you do is it brings up a template, and you put this template on each of these stars. And when you first start out, of course, they're not going to be on the stars. They're going to be something like, way off. And so what you do is you move them around and get them in there. Hit success. Now it's asking me if I want to use the axis center point last recorded. Well, I did polar line already, so I'm going to go ahead and say yes. But what it would have had me do, it would have had me click on a star, any one of these in the circle, and move the mount around twice, and then move the mount back to its home park position, and that sets its since a 0 point on Polaris. And then we do this. and what it says, double click Polaris, we got success. And what we would do is take and move this rotating circle in the center here till it gets on Polaris, and that gets us really close. And then we go finish, and we double click Polaris again, and set it up. And now it brings up this monitor window over in the left here, where my mouse is. From Polaris, go over here to the left, and you start the monitor, and what you want to do is get that green box right on top of the red reticle there, and moisture in the air will make that thing bounce around. A little settling of the mount will change it a little bit. That there is been for me really good enough. So that's how we align the scope, and we go finish. And we can disconnect, and we can come back anytime at night if we have tracking problems. We can come back and just look at that way, and see if the dog bumped the mount. So first thing we're going to do tonight is we're going to try and go to M83. So I'll come over here to my gear and go to, whoops. Yeah, let's go down to the star map. We'll bring the star map up here, and we'll search for M83. So M83, find it. And I may have had to, yeah, there it is. There's M83. So we're going to right click on it. It'll bring up a window, and it'll say telescope, and we'll slew the telescope to M83. And that takes a little bit of time, and I can see in my other monitor here that the telescope is moving. And man, we've got a lot of cottonwood in the air tonight too. It'll probably land on my lens, and I'll have dust bunnies to try and get rid of. So this program that I'm using is referred to as CDC. I don't speak French. I think it's French. It's in English, I would say it Cartes du Ciel. I think it's chart of the ceiling. There's chart of the sky. Okay, there, right here, the telescope has come over. So we'll bring our imaging program back up. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a plate solve on this. And that will, because of discrepancies in the mount, in the manufacture of the gears, the setup of the gear train, the polar alignment, there'll be some error introduced. I mean, this isn't, Mauna Kea quality telescopes here. So we'll go to this point craft, and we'll do an auto blind solve. And I want to use blind plate solving. So what it's going to do is it's going to take a picture of where the mount, or of the sky where the mount is actually pointed. And then we can compare that to where we want to be, and we can actually sync that, and then we'll be able to move over to where we actually want to be. And I helped Chris over at Elliott's Astro Imaging set his plate solving up, and he is just ecstatic with that, as I am still. I've been using plate solving, I can't remember, I think,
Exposure finished.
oh, maybe about a year now, and I'm still excited about it because it just makes the whole world different for you. Okay, oops, we've got a tree in that image, so I don't know if that's going to be able to solve or not. That's one of the problems. These Messier objects I'm going for tonight are very low in the horizon, and they never get above about 10 or 12 degrees. And so that puts me right into the neighbor's trees sometimes. But that tree, I think, is... Now it looks like that tree is upside down, so that means that we'll be moving into the tree. But we'll give it some time here and see if it'll solve. If not, we'll go to, I've got a backup here, M16, the Eagle Nebula will be my backup because it's out late in the evening or a long time tonight, and I can go back to it once in a while. And we'll give M83 a chance to get past the tree. because it will only get to be about 12 degrees above the horizon, and that's right about now. So um, at least we got the. Oh, it solved the image. So let's go ahead and sync this. Let me. Oh, you see where the telescope thinks it is right there. So what we'll do now is sync it, and we can close that. We can come back here, and if you look over here to the left, that's where the telescope actually is. I don't know if you can read the numbers, but if you come straight to the left, almost two grid lines here, and then the bottom grid line, that's where the telescope actually is. So we're going to go ahead and slew back to M83, and that should put M83 right in the center of the image. And I'm surprised I forgot to turn the guiding on for that. So here we'll bring the guiding up. It's not showing any stars. Wonder why that is. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's still connected. Maybe it's okay. That's it. It says it can guide on that star, so we'll take a look here and see. Oh, that's what it is. There's a whole bunch of trees. This picture right here is through the guide scope, and I don't think you can see it on the YouTube screen. Yeah, but there's a whole bunch of trees I could just see in there, and that red blink you just saw meant that I lost my guide star. So that means if I go over here to, whoops, I hit the enlarge instead of the shrink. So let's go ahead and take a quick exposure here, and let's see, make sure I have everything set right. And we'll go here and see what will probably be right in the trees. So at 12 degrees, M83 is almost at the southern meridian, which is the vertical line that would run between the North Pole and the South Pole, the South Meridian at this location. And I have a lot of trees there, a lot of trees.
Exposure finished.
I have to be about 25 to 30 degrees up, which is good twice of what we are. Okay, there's the trees. Okay, we'll call that one a scrub, because I doubt very much if it will get out of the trees enough that I can get it later on, because it's but we'll come back and look at it in a few minutes, because between now and the next one that I want to get will be almost 2 hours before it's available. So let's go here and we'll go to find again. Yeah, Trish, it definitely was the trees. We'll go to M16. That is one of my favorites. And let's see. Okay. I don't see it. Ooh. M16 is still low in the sky. Come down here. What I'm doing is looking at the data that the star chart gives me. Yeah, it's only 2 degrees above the horizon now. Yeah, it's about midnight is when I had down on my chart that I could get it. So all the others are below the horizon. So let's go to our other star. Whoops, I hit the wrong button again. Doggone, I hate it when I do that. There's no way of stopping it now either. PixInsight is the picture processing program I use. It is a package of programs together that just makes imaging easier for an old guy like me. So there's, let's see, let's go ahead and shrink that all the way. There we go. This is my other end. Oh, M5. What is M5? I think it's a cluster, star cluster, but it would be. I don't know if you can see this orange star down here. That's M4. That's one that we're going to really try and get tonight. So well, let's see. We can go here to M5 and click information. Yep, it's a globular cluster. So to get started, let's go ahead and go to M5. At least we'll take some pictures. See if I can find it here without having to search it. This chart is a freebie, but it works well with my planetary program. Yeah, here's M5. It's a cluster, so we'll go ahead and slew to it. Oh, yeah, PhD kicked off, so. And what I've got, I'm confusing myself because I shrink this one, I'm using remote desktop, and I shrink that, shrink this display in order that I can pull up my taskbar, because right here I have a camera that, see, in about 20 minutes the International Space Station should be coming by, and I'm going to try and image that. So it's probably a good thing that I brought that up, because let's see here. Well, see, that's what I mean. I confused myself because that was the imaging program on my desktop, not the remote computer that I'm into. So let's do a shoot here and see what we've got, and we'll get. I don't know what the deal is with my guide camera, because it's not. Maybe it's still no, it's not too light out. What I did there is I just turned on the guiding, and that will help keep the image in the. Oh, okay, there we are, right there. Now, see, we're a little off. We're just a little bit off, and so what we can do, and since we're, just kind of killing some time, I'll go ahead and do this again, and we'll do a plate solve again. And now there is a new plate solving program that's a lot faster than this one, but I haven't installed it on this computer yet. I've played with it on my desktop, and it seems to be pretty decent. So, but we'll get that star cluster right in the center, and then we'll go ahead and take a few pictures of it. Let's see.
Exposure finished.
Yeah, the picture I have on my website, which is in the description down below, is a pretty good one. So for a star cluster, so probably, I don't need to add another one here. So. Now, one of the neat things about this program, it's an astrophotography tool, and there is a free version, and it's got a lot of these same functions I'm using right now. The for pay, which is really cheap, gives you control over your auto cooler and some other features that are just kind of nice to have. But one of them is this Go to Plus Plus. Once I sync the once I get this solved and sync it, I can actually hit that Go to Plus Plus, and it'll take me to the object that I want. So. It's taken a while. And this is a 30-second exposure here too. So when we take a couple images, we'll take a couple longer and
Image solved.
okay, there we go. It's solved. So here again, I'll show you that let's see, where's M5 here? Should be, yeah, right there. Right there's the M5, and that's where the mount thinks it is. And so we'll hit the sync button again and look up at it again, and you can see, I don't know if you can see it on the YouTube screen or not, and I can't blow this up anymore, but it's just barely off. It's barely, yeah, I think, yeah, I can blow this up. And so anyhow, it's just barely off, so I'm going to go ahead and just move it over. Telescope, slew. And now it should be pretty much right in the center. Oh, that alarm you're hearing there, I think you can hear it. That's because I forgot to disengage the auto guiding, and the auto guider says, hey, I can't keep up. So we'll re-establish guiding. I should have showed you that too, because the green line, this little green spot box here, is the star that I'm guiding on, and it was actually, the box was over here and the star was over there because I moved the mount. So we'll go ahead and turn the guiding back on. And now we'll go ahead and do a, didn't change this here either. We'll do a 2-minute exposure. Gotta remember what I'm doing here. Doing too many things at once. I'm a single tasker.
Exposure started. Exposure finished.
Oh, I hit the. Oh, we'll pause it. And we'll do the. Oh, I know what I did. I put in 2 for 2 minutes instead of 120 for 120 seconds for 2 minutes. So we'll just hit that one. And that's set up for 120 seconds. I'll change that out. In fact, actually, I'll do that right now while I'm thinking of it. And we'll go ahead and shoot and see what it looks like. Now, one thing I haven't done is check the focus tonight too, so it doesn't get dark here until about almost 9:45, 10 o'clock because of the the higher latitude I'm in, and so. Oh, Sam says hi. Hi, Sam. Yeah, this monitor that I have the chat on is at an angle, so I don't see it all the time. Yeah, so we're at 38 seconds right now, and that's part of the game here, is just waiting for the camera to capture enough light and convert it into electricity that converts it into an image that you can see. And some guys refer to it as capturing photons, and you're not actually. Well, I guess you're capturing the photons, because the photon goes in and makes a reaction in the camera that turns it into electricity, that turns it into a specific charge level, voltage level, and then that's converted to the picture. So the photon's gone, been converted. So, and we're at 90 seconds now. I don't know if that shows up well on YouTube or not. Don't watch my own videos, I guess. So, now there's another feature of this program here while we're waiting is the deep sky event and deep sky darkness calculator. It'll tell you when sunset is, sunrise is, and that's, I think you hear that announcement in their deep sky event.
Exposure finished.
It tells you here down here that we have 1 hour and 9 minutes of dark skies here tonight, and that's because of the moon is up right now. It's a waxing crescent about I don't know, a little over a quarter, I think. That didn't move in the screen, did it? So let's go ahead, since we're playing right now, waiting for things to happen, and we'll do the point craft and do the. So, now let me close this out. Tell you what I'm doing. Okay, this go to plus will do a plate solve and bring this down here. So what I'm going to do is choose the object over here, and it brings up a list of I don't know. I think there's several thousand objects in here, common objects, and we're looking for M5, and I have it set up to only show the visible objects. That's why you don't see M1 and M2 there, because they aren't up yet. So there's that, and we'll hit this go to plus plus, and it'll take a picture, and it'll do a plate solve.
Exposure started.
So, yeah, okay, it's taking a picture, and then it'll do a plate solve and see how close it is, and then it'll move it. And it's set up, yeah, I can't get into the settings right now, but it's set up, I think, to bring this portion here within 50 pixels of the center of the picture. And actually, I was going to say I haven't done any focusing tonight. Need to turn on my desktop audio.
Exposure finished.
Desktop audio. Can you hear me now, Trish? You mean I've been talking to myself the whole time? Okay. I've got everything turned on now. I did have something turned off, but I don't know. Can you hear me now, Trish? I'm showing audio peeking up in the yellow.
Exposure started.
Now you can see that this actually did move down a little bit. I know there's a 30-second delay between you typing something and me seeing it, but I don't know. Let's see. Yeah.
Exposure finished.
I can hear it on my YouTube.
I can hear you, I can't hear APT.
Oh, okay. So I turned the desktop. Oh, okay, I see. You are hearing me, so I'm not just talking to myself. Yeah, that was desktop audio was turned off.
Okay, and you turned it on.
Yeah, I turned it on. So you see that we've moved the. Now where'd my there? We've moved this object from up here down here just by using.
Go to plus plus finished.
Just by using the go to plus plus, and so now we can take an image or a picture, and what we'll do is we'll turn the auto guiding back on. Now close that. Pick our star, turn guiding on, and now we'll do that 2-minute exposure. 120 seconds. We'll shoot.
Exposure started.
It
Your
was-
focus looks really good.
Yeah, the focus does look good. The stars are nice and round. And you know, they're all round out to the edges too. That's because that field flattener I put in.
Okay, I see.
So I've got my producer in here correcting my mistakes. So
I don't know.
yeah, like I say, this is the real boring part is when you're waiting for the picture to be taken. And Ms. Producer is in here. Oh, I wonder if it's because, let me try something.
Oh,
It's because, let's see, I can close that. Down here, nope, that's,
no, that's your computer. You want. What I'm willing to bet is.
and we're at 90 seconds. Oh, bummer about SpaceX today, huh? At 90 seconds, just, 90 seconds and counting, just reminded me of a NASA thing. So, but Saturday, we'll shoot for Saturday. Of course, it reminded me of when I was a kid watching the Mercury and Gemini flights. Hint as to how old I am. We used to get that all the time. They get down to T-5.
Exposure
That's
finished.
Hold.
good.
Yeah.
All right.
Good. And that's a 30-second exposure too.
Yeah, that's really
Yeah, because that was the oh yeah, there we are. Got some nice bright there.
Did it take 2 minutes?
Yeah, you can see the core. I don't know if you can see that on YouTube or not, but you can actually see the core in there.
That's really good, Dad.
Yeah.
Do you
No.
have the light filter in?
No, I don't. I forgot to put my light pollution filter in. For star clusters, that's not really too big a deal because you're just taking images of white light. Now, what a star cluster is these stars are all in relation to each other, gravitational relation to each other, versus like if you come up here, look at these two stars here, these three stars, they aren't anywhere close to each other actually. But these are all within a certain field. So let's see, check the time, it's 10:38. We could, no, if we do, if we try for M83, we'd have to go all the way back around, and I don't want to do that right now. So let's go ahead and take a couple picture of these, a little boring, but we'll take this. This here is just an automatic system that I can put in the exposure, how long to wait between exposures. That's real critical for DSLR cameras where the shutter vibrates the camera. You want to put enough time in the pause in order to allow the telescope to settle down from the vibration of the camera. And then how many pictures we're going to take. We're taking 2-minute pictures, and so we'll take 5 of them, and that will take 10 minutes to do. And we'll change this over here to M5. And okay, and I hit the start button over here.
Exposure started.
Now that will automatically take 5 pictures, and all I've got to do here is sit and watch, just like you. So, yeah, it was a bummer about the pinwheel. I was really hoping I knew it would be close on the trees, but it looks like to get those, I'm going to have to go somewhere. M7 is the Ptolemy cluster, and while we're waiting here, I can do this. You might find this interesting. let's see. Okay, there's M83, what it would have looked like if we could have gotten it. I'll bring that in just a little bit more. I don't know why that does that. Yeah, that spiral galaxy, very, very pretty. That's what we would have gotten. Now we're at M5, and of course that's this star cluster right here. M4 we should be able to get because it's coming up a little earlier, and it will get up to 15 degrees. So we'll take a look at M4. There's M4. It's called the Cat's Eye cluster. You can see the center of the eye right here, and then the ball. And the other one we want to try for, it's not even showing up here, but it's a cluster also. Now this one here, Ptolemy's cluster, that one is just gorgeous, but it only gets 7 degrees in the sky, and that 7 degrees is right where those trees were. So I doubt if we'll get that one. Well, in fact, I know we won't get that one because we didn't get M83 either. That's one thing about that program. It announces every exposure. I wish it would announce plan started, plan finished. That would be kind of cool. I might suggest it to him. Let's see. Yeah. And M16. I'll show you M16. It's up now. It's the Eagle Nebula. And right now it's, show you get the information on it. Position in sky. This says right now it's at 28 degrees. So if it's at 28 degrees, maybe we should just abort this one. Well, let's see. 60 seconds won't make much more difference. We'll wait till this one finishes out, and then abort, and then we'll go to M16. Boy, that rose quick because I think we looked at it earlier, and it was. I looked at it earlier, and it was still low. But it gets up to about 18 degrees in the sky, which will be. Oh wait, that one said 28. Anyway, we'll go take a look at it and see what it says. Yeah, we've only got 30 seconds to go. Long 30 seconds when you're just waiting. Oh, good. You can see the time okay. So.
Exposure finished.
Okay, and we'll stop it then. And I'll remember to turn the guiding off so that the guiding program doesn't get upset. And then we'll come down to our star chart, and M16 should be, we'll find it. Yeah, find. Let's say the M16. Oh, I'll bet I know what happened on that other program. Let me check. Yeah, the date and time are off. So that would do it. So we'll just have to wait for it. Well, there's always the wild duck. That's a star cluster. I really like to get a nebula if I'm going to just be playing around. So M16 is, oops, wrong one. Boy, that was a disaster. Gave you all my private information. Yeah, good idea to finish the picture, yeah, rather than waste it. Okay, so be looking around here, see what we can find. M80. What's M80? M80. It's a globular cluster. Okay. Oh, the Hercules cluster, M13. That's a pretty one. But, I guess I'd like to find a... Okay, let's go for the dumbbell. Here's the dumbbell. I don't get it quite that good, but that would be a fun one. So, and we'll have to do a plate solving because we're moving quite a ways. Whoops, that didn't work out. That doesn't let me do that. So there's, okay, M27 is right there, and let's see what it says about it. It's at 17 degrees, so it's above my house, so we should be able to see it. And, oh, I wonder. I hate it when I play with my stuff, because it winds up causing me troubles. A lot of times I'll play around during the day trying different things, and if I forget to put something back, what it was, this is the camera gain here for the guide camera, and I had it down real low because I was looking at some really bright stuff. I forget what it was, but it was really bright, so I had it down at 5. Reset it back to its normal, and now we bring the there, and you can see I can't quite see. Yeah, it looks like maybe right there is the dumbbell, so we'll pick a star, any star. We'll start guiding, and we'll come back and we'll change our name of our file. Every time I change this name down here, I wonder why that's not working. My keyboard. Oh, maybe I bumped the num lock. Yeah, that was it. Hey, see, I can figure things out by myself, I think. No, that's not. Well, let's stop the plan. Oh, maybe that's why, because I didn't stop the plan. Yeah, so that's a pretty smart program, but smarter than the... Yeah, there we go. So now we'll take a 2 minute and, well, let's go ahead and change that to 30 seconds. That'll tell us whether we're where we want to be or not. And
Exposure started.
so 30 seconds is not too long to wait to find out where we are. So, because it's only 15 seconds more. See how I keep you informed? When you're sitting here talking to yourself, it's kind of hard to think of things to say that are meaningful. I mean, I could prattle, but like I am.
Exposure finished.
Okay, let's see how close we are. No, I don't see it. So, you know what that means. That means we go to Point Craft. And let's try the quicker. This plate solver here, you have to tell it where you think you are, and it will use the picture that's already here. Versus the other blind solve has to take its own picture. Echo on my mic. Turn the gain down a little bit. We'll try that. See, that was a lot quicker. Okay, let me know if that made any difference, Trish. So we'll sync our mount, come back to our chart, and well, I don't know, it says, yeah, it's off a little bit, but it should have still been in the window. So we'll go ahead and move it anyway. Oops, yeah, let's not make PhD too unhappy. That PhD 2 program is really, really nice. It's the imaging. There, you could see the scope move there on the map, I think. You probably could have. So let's go ahead now that we have that done, and we'll go back to camera, and let's shoot a few minutes worth and see what happens. It's going to be a 2-minute exposure. Turn off desktop audio. Desktop audio. Oh. Okay, desktop audio is off. And we'll see how that goes. That 30-second delay kind of gets me sometimes. Longer exposure, it's a nebula. Yeah, okay, if nothing shows up on 2 minutes, I'll stop it and we'll increase the exposure to 5 minutes. I always do like Chris over at Elliott's Astro Imaging and take it up to 20 minutes. Actually, he does about 10 to 12 minutes on his shoots. So, and we're at 54 seconds. And for those that don't know, we can take these images. You know, we take several images, and we use software that takes and stacks one on top of the other, so that it brings detail out, and then you can, you know, do some stuff, and that's what gets the pictures you see on the web that look so nice. Yeah, I can see I got a dust bunny right here too. I hope my flats will take that out. That's got to be inside because I cleaned the lens off. I cleaned the objective lens off, so that's got to be inside somewhere. So, 6 more seconds, and we'll do a.
Exposure finished.
Oh, doggone, I should have hit pause instead of stop. No, it quit downloading. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and edit, and we'll make, since I don't have Trish here to tell me, let's see, 120, 180, 240.
We need a way to establish live communication.
Yes, that 30 seconds delay is a lot, isn't it?
Well, and you're distracted.
Yeah.
Because I
Started.
when I said take a longer exposure, that was before your 2-minute exposure. So
Yeah.
that's not what I meant. Is it not there?
I don't see, it wasn't there. It should be.
Yeah, you
I
should be
think-
able to see it.
Yeah, I think it's there, but I just think with the
No, you should be able to see it.
Oh.
We see it before.
because it wasn't that far off, according to the
Check your binding. Just make sure. It's on.
yeah, it is.
Okay, just making sure.
So,
We've done that before.
yep.
Yeah, because remember, there's like a star in the middle of it or something.
But I don't.
Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah.
I think that's it right there.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought that was it, but it's just not enough exposure on the.
How long did you do it for? 2 minutes?
No, that one was a 30-second
Oh,
exposure. That was just the.
Oh, you're still waiting for
please.
your 2-minute exposure.
Well, no, I hit the wrong button. I got the 2-minute exposure, and instead of hitting pause, I hit stop. Well, you hit stop, it cancels the download. So those photons just got, just epic fail. But those photons just kind of disappeared into nothingness.
Yeah, I don't know why all of a sudden it had that echo on you, but it's better now.
So, can you still hear the?
I couldn't ever hear it.
You could never hear APT.
Only through your mic.
Oh, okay. So, that's interesting. Oh, 116. Another
We can-
120 to go.
We can see the time. Something's wrong
Yeah.
with my projector. The right side is dim.
So,
How long are you taking?
240 seconds.
Whatever, why?
4 minutes.
You didn't need that long.
Yeah, my producer's never happy with me.
Well, I am watching, just so you know.
Okay,
I'll tell you goodnight when I turn it off.
okay.
Alright, your door open or closed?
Oh, go ahead and leave it open. I think I'm going to open my other door too so to get a little breeze in here. It got up, I forget what it got up to here. But I think it was like in the mid 70s, which is warm for us. It's not hot, but it's comfortable. It's actually the weather that is perfect for whatever you do. And we're at 206. Yeah, the high got to 79, almost 80 to get today, and that was nice. It was really nice. We've had clouds for most of the last 2-3 months. So 236. All right. Now keep my hands off the. Yeah, keep my hands off the goodies. Don't push. Oh, there it is. There it is. Look at that. Look at that. Right in the center. Right in the center. Yeah. So. Oh, and we got some star trails though. So let's pause that. And why would that be? We shouldn't have star trails, but let's stop it.
Exposure cancelled.
Edit, and we'll take that back down to 180. Oh, my producer's in. You say, "See, I told you so."
Oh, it's there at least.
Yeah, Yep, right where it should be.
Exposure started.
So this picture here would be virtually unusable for stacking because of these star trails here. So.
Why do you have star trails?
What?
Why do you have star trails?
I don't know because the alignment's good. I think I might have some mount problems. So I might have to, yeah, because my guiding, the red and blue lines are okay, but there's a lot of guiding pulses there. So my guiding does not look like Chris's does it. Elliott Astro Imaging. But with the stacking and editing software, we can actually bring out the color in that that picture there. And actually, you follow the link down in my description below and go to my website where I have my pictures posted. You can go to the Messier page and look at it and see what it can turn out to be. Yeah, I've got a lot of dust bunnies in there, and like I say, I did clean the lens, and these are still in about the same place that they were from the other night that I mean like 3 weeks ago. So I think I'm gonna have to take things apart and do some super cleaning, because for some reason I have troubles getting the flats to take the dust stuff out. And I speak of flats, what you do at the end of your imaging session, you take a picture of white light, just pure white light at a very low level, just enough to bring the exposure of your, remember I talked about the electrons turning into voltage. Well, they call that a well depth. There's how much charge that you can capture, and you want to get about half of that charge level. And then you combine that, and it will take the dust particles out, because the white light will shine on the dust, and then the software says, oh, okay, that stuff there will take that out and neutralize it to the same as the background. So and then actually you take two other calibration frames too. You do a bias and a dark frame. The bias frame just registers the ambient noise of the sensor. All electronic devices generate noise, and so they record that ambient noise and they take that out. Boy, that is not working good at all. Huh. Let's stop that one. Now, normally when I have a polar alignment like I got, I have no problems with my guiding at all. So I don't know what, because these wouldn't even be good enough to get my on my Messier list. But anyhow, I was saying the bias frames take out the electronic noise of the sensor, and then the dark frames take out those frames are taken at the same exposure as your what we're taking right here is these are called the light frames, and the darks are taken at the same exposure level, the same temperature of the sensor, and they take out noise that is just generated as the process goes. That's the difference between the bias and the darks is the bias is just the what you'd say the sleep state noise, and then the darks are the noise that is created by the long exposures. And all sensors do that. Even your DSLR, your cell phone, they all do that. Yeah, I don't know what is causing that. Now, see, one thing I can do is I can pull this picture here up, this program, and we'll connect, and we'll have to pull that over. Yeah, there we go, so that we can get, and I believe that is Polaris. I don't see any other stars. Oh, I wonder if it's clouds. Okay, finished. That, yeah, that doesn't look like Polaris.
Exposure finished.
Now see, that camera's on the axis of the mount, so no matter where I
Exposure started.
point the telescope, that's still on the axis, and I should be able to I don't think that is Polaris. I wonder if the mount somehow got bumped. Doesn't look like it. But I should be seeing Polaris in there, and I'm not. That means I might have to. Come on. Yeah. Okay. I think possibly what it is clouds. You think clouds? No, because that's way off. So there's our. Okay, these stars are looking okay. Yeah, this must be a double star here. So yeah. So anyhow, that's 2-minute exposures. We seem to be doing okay there.
Exposure started.
Although that one's got a little bit of star trailing in it. I'll bet you. Look at that. I'll bet there's the problem. We lost our tracking. I thought sure I had put tracking on. I'll go back and look at the video and see that I didn't. So if that be the case, then should be able to up the exposure again. So what time is it? 11 o'clock here. Let me go back to my other screen and look for M4 and look at the information. I can bring the information up. And this tells me what the object is, what time it rises, what time it sets, and when it crosses the meridian, which is where the due south 180 degrees, which is where it'll be the highest in the sky. And I can look at the position, and right now it's 11 degrees above the horizon. And let's see, it's at 152 degrees. That's in the trees. 140 is just out of is just getting into the trees. So we'll, but it's at 11 degrees, and I can take and screw myself up and run the time forward here, because I'll forget to put it back. And you see at roughly 1 o'clock it'll be 15 degrees in the sky, 15 degrees up. 14 degrees about midnight. So we should be able to get M4. And I don't know how long I'll stream tonight.
Exposure finished.
Oh, let's see. Longer exposure. It's clouds down. Yeah, high clouds. I figured that out.
Exposure started.
Yeah. So let's go back to our image. Yeah, now there the stars are much better, much better. No trails on them. They're nice and round. They've got this double star here. Occasionally, when you get a mount to jiggle, you'll get stars like that. And so when I saw that at first, I thought, oh, troubles. So, yeah. So. Of course, the problem is I can get sidetracked so easy because there's so many things out there to see. But I do want to try and get my Messier list finished. Okay, yeah, we're not tracking. As my son-in-law would say, ay caramba. Let's see. M4 now is 11 degrees up. That might be doable. 11 degrees at 100. Yeah, it's pretty close to the trees.
Exposure finished. Exposure started.
But you need a minimum of 3 photos to stack, and we're on our 5th one, so that's okay. We'll finish this out and then go over and see if we can see M4. That was one on the list that I did want to try and get. Some of these that I had on the list, I knew they were iffy. M83, I knew that would be iffy, and of course I knew M7 Ptolemy's cluster, I wouldn't get it, but I had to put it on the list anyway of hopefuls. So, yeah, there's the tracking. Yeah, that's the problem when you get the clouds in there. They and if you miss the ding of the guide scope, when it says it's disconnected, then it's kind of hard to tell what the problem is. But right here, in the right of this picture here, where my cursor is, that's the star that we're tracking, and the mount is sending commands to the mount. No, the camera is sending commands to the mount to keep that star right there. If it starts drifting up, it'll give a command to go down. If it's left, it'll give a command to go right, that type of thing. And that's what allows us to take long exposures.
Exposure finished.
Come back here.
Imaging plan finished.
Okay, so now let's here. object, and what did we say, M4? Let's go for M4 and go to, and that should be slewing. I've never done it this way before, but whoop, it's slewing. PhD isn't happy. That's one of my bugaboos. I forget to turn the guiding off, and so as soon as you start slewing it, it tries to make a command to put it back, and it can't keep up, so it gives you that error. But it's supposed to, in the settings here, I forget, in the guiding settings, I have it, where's that at? It's supposed to stop guiding when mouse. Oh, see, I played around again. Unchecked that. So let's see where we at. Okay, are we on M4? Nope, still slewing. The screen goes white for some reason when I'm slewing. You can see bright stars, you'll see the trails in it, and now it's getting ready to settle in. And there we go, it's settled in, and if we look over here, no, it doesn't show it there. And we'll turn on the guiding, and then we'll take a 30-second picture. That says M3. That should have auto-populated. So let's... Oh, the port score. Okay. I evidently picked M3 instead of M4, and M3 was below the horizon, so the scope automatically parked. When it goes off limits, it will automatically go back to its home position, and so now I have to start over, and that will probably have something to do with the pointing also. So I might have. I'm going to plate. So I plate solve on everything. So. Scope doesn't seem to be. Oh yeah, there it goes. The cameras are at infrared now, so it's hard to see the thing moving sometimes. Yep, there it comes. There it comes. Okay, so there we go. So we'll come back here to camera, and we'll take a 30-second exposure.
Exposure started.
Oh, let's see, we didn't do that. Oh, look at that. Look at that. We're in the trees. We're in the trees.
Exposure finished.
Yeah, I should have looked at that first. The looks like tonight is going to be a washout. Everything's right in that stinking tree. I wonder if I could cut it down. I wonder if my neighbor would get mad. Probably so. And as you can see, the tree is out of focus because it's too close. It's not millions of light years away. Okay, well, geez, what do I do? what do I do? Do I go back to M27 and do some more? Because it doesn't look like, well, yeah, M4's got some time to go still. So it's right around in here. So it's going to be going this way. We can watch the guide scope a couple times and see which way the trees are going. Yeah, they're going to the, they're moving left, so that means that, yeah, but I don't want to sit here and just wait when I could be doing something. Oh. Looking around to see if there's any kind of galaxy. Well, here's M107. And it's a globular cluster. Let me check something real quick and see whether that's something we want to watch or not. What I'm doing is I'm going to my website to see how the picture is. Oh, clicked on the wrong one. And we'll go to page 6 and M107. Yeah, it's a star cluster, and it's actually not too bad. But let's do it anyway. We'll see what the new and there you can see the mount going up. And we'll check PhD2 and see what the trees look like. Oops, still got trees. Ah. Trees, the bane of my life. The only good tree is a 2x4 baseball bat, and then only if you need them. Well, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to do M13. I mean, I've got lots of pictures of M13, but it's a, yeah, and it's at 64 degrees. That's within the limit of the mount. When you set these up, you can set how high your telescope will point, because it sits on a tripod. So if you can imagine the legs coming out of the base of the tripod, the camera, if it goes up too high, it can actually hit into one of the legs, and you don't want that. That's usually considered a bad thing. So we'll look here, right there. If you can see my cursor down in the black spot of the black spot and watch it go up, right there, that is the object we're looking for. So that means we're going to be pretty close. So let's go ahead and just change that out. And let's just take a shot at 30 seconds. Now, a couple of these that I had mentioned earlier that I was going to try and go for, like M6 and M54 and M55,
Exposure finished.
those don't come up high until about 3 o'clock in the morning. And so about 3:30, 4 o'clock, it starts getting light around here. So, up, there it is. For some reason, it's off. So let's do the... Now that should bring that down right into the center. I was pointing at the screen with my finger so you could see it. That'll bring that down right into the center of the picture here. Now, before we got plate solving,
Exposure started.
whatnot, that would have had to have been good enough. I mean, we'd have played with it a little bit and got it down to maybe around here and said, okay. Oh, let's see. Yeah, that was a 20-second exposure without guiding. That should be okay. That shouldn't be a problem.
Exposure finished.
Yeah, I like those nice round stars. One of the things you have with a lens is that because it's focusing all of the light at a central point on the sensor, when you get out to, whoa, that's right, I forgot to turn that off. We'll just leave that off because this is going to be 30-second exposures. So anyhow, as you get out to the edge, the stars distort. They get all mushy and whatnot. And there's, of course, a fix for it. It only costs money. It's called a field flattener and a focal reducer. And what that does is it flattens out the field so that these stars out here on the edges are nice and round.
Exposure finished.
And the focal reducer allows you to take faster. Oh, look at that, right in the center. It's going to say it's good. So at least it's good for me. At least it should say it's good.
Go to plus finished.
So it's finished. Now see, one thing that allows you to do now, if I come back to this object tomorrow night, and or even a week from now, I can use that and get that image right there again. That's kind of a slick thing. So let's go ahead and turn our guiding back on. I remember to turn the guiding on at some time. You know, so there we go. And let's go back here. And what is our exposure at? Okay. 120 will be enough. So we'll take 5 pictures. That's 10 minutes, and then we'll check on M4 and see how it sits in the sky. And like I say, I'm afraid that's going to be in the trees the whole time. So I'm thinking about talking to my producer and seeing if we can't move this show over to some place that has a better view of the horizon. Back in the old days, I'd have said Mount Palomar, but from what I hear, that they're having troubles with light pollution there too. That is pretty though, just stars. Oh, the bubble. Got to ask about the bubble. Let's take a look at the bubble. What I'm going to do is, while this is taking pictures, I'm going to go ahead and just shrink it and go to my other program. And the reason I like to come to this one is it's got better pictures in it. The Bubble Nebula. Oh, let's see. You know, that's one that would be worth getting, the Bubble Nebula. Well, it's at 30 degrees in the horizon, 30 degrees. Yeah, that's well. Okay, I'm going to give you 30 seconds. Yeah, I'll give you 30 seconds to answer me. Should I cancel this and go to the bubble? Because the bubble is really, really well worth watching. Did you remote desktop in?
Exposure finished.
Oh, you know what? I missed the space station. Doggone it. See, I told you I'm a single single tasker. I just can't do more than one thing at a time. Oh, that's kind of a bum deal. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, because I hadn't played with the exposures either. Let's go 1 second. Let's see, how do I do that again? Nope. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, on this picture here you can see the clouds. You can definitely see the clouds. So probably couldn't have seen the shuttle anyway. Oh, let's go back. I know what the bubble is, but I don't ever remember. It's an NGC 7635, and I knew that.
Exposure finished. Exposure started.
Oh. Yeah, because on my notes I made when I planned out this evening, of course, you know, the first casualty of war is the plan. M4 is best at about 1 o'clock, and it's only 11:30 now, so we'll go to the Bubble Nebula, and I think we'll take a lot of pictures of that. So. Oh, I see what my confusion was. Between what I do on the screen and what it shows up on my YouTube monitor is some delay, about 30 seconds, I think. And when I was looking at the other sky map, I saw the cursor moving in it. Well, I'm not there. So, but yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, we've only got 2 more pictures to go here, and then we'll go to the Bubble Nebula. And I'll try. I've made a note for myself to disengage the auto guider, but I'll bet you I forget. So, at least everything's been working flawlessly tonight, other than my confusions. And I don't count the streaming stuff. That's beyond my pay grade. That's why I have a producer. But the slewing's working. The camera's still at minus 15 degrees. Yeah, this is a cooled camera. If you keep the temperature of the sensor down low, that reduces the electronics noise in it. You know, remember I talked about the bias in the dark frames. It reduces that noise. And so I've got somebody's got a friggin' light on out there, screwing up my pictures. Grandkids. course, I don't know how much that is actually light or if it's just the infrared. It's sure bright. Yeah, it's not hurting anything. I'll let him be. I'll let him live. So. Yeah, okay. I think it just doesn't alarm because I think I did that earlier, but I'll do it again. I'll not disconnect the guider and go ahead and slew, and because I turned it to stop guiding when it slews, so that should work, and that'd be a good test of it. Yeah. So right now it's let's see, 23:30. We had a okay. Astro Twilight ends. I don't know if you heard the Deep Sky event announcement.
Finished.
And the exposure finish. That was the 5th exposure. Boy, time flies when you're having fun, doesn't it? So, yeah, and our dark skies tonight starts at 1:28 and it ends at 2:38. So there's only about a minute of it. Or I mean an hour of it. And that's because at about 2:38 is when the sun's rays do start painting the sky. So, okay, I guess that was the 4th picture. We're starting the 5th. So, but like I say, we've got a long time to go here. I don't know what the limit on time for streaming is. You know, can I go all day? And let's see. Yeah, that's what I figured out. That's not light. It's the infrared that I'm seeing on the camera, the yard cam, and it just looked because it's infrared and the camera's infrared. It just looks a lot brighter than it is. So yeah, I would jokingly say I unloaded and put things away, but this is on YouTube and I don't want to get in trouble, so I didn't say that. So, 83 seconds. It's 40 more to go. So, but boy, yeah, that infrared. They've got a space heater out there trying to keep themselves warm. I mean, after all, it's only let's see. It's only 12 Celsius. And I forget what that would be. That's about 40? But anyway, it's not all that cold out there. But if you're just sitting, I guess it is. Okay, last exposure. Well, I can go all day, I'm told, by my producer. All right.
Imaging plan finished.
Imaging plan finished. So now we'll go to here and we'll go to find. We'll come down here and on this row here, I think you can see it, the NGC is what we want, and this time we want 7635, and we'll find it. Oh, look at that right there. And so we'll go ahead and slew to NGC 7635. And that's called the Bubble Nebula. Up, look at that. It didn't like it. That's interesting. Stop guiding when Mount slews. So evidently all that does is say, sound the alarm. So anyway, we'll kind of wait here and oh, look at that. Incoming right there. What? What? Why did you stop there? That must mean that the scope, the mount really thinks it's off. Or it really is off, rather. Okay, so let's go down here and change the reason I go and change this when I'm thinking of it is because that creates a new folder to put the images in. And we'll go ahead and shoot a picture.
Exposure started.
And we'll plate solve that and see where we think we are. I'm beginning to think I do have something wrong with my mount, because if you look at these lines here, see how smooth that is? Yeah, actually that's not too bad. So I guess we're okay. So okay. So now we'll go ahead and do a plate. We're going to do a near plate solve. And I don't know if that's in there or not. I think I may have put it in the custom. Yeah, there we go.
Image solved.
Image solved. So we'll sync it. And we'll look here. Oh, it says it's right on. So now NGC not quite right on, but really close enough. And we'll take a look at this and yeah, I did it, didn't I? Okay. Let's see. That's a magnitude 11 nebula, so it's not real bright, and we'll go ahead and take a 3-minute image and see what it looks like.
Exposure started.
And see if we see anything at 3 minutes. But boy, those stars are nice and sharp, nice and round. The out of focus will make them look fuzzy, especially the smaller, dimmer ones. So now we're at and I mentioned the temperature cooler of the camera earlier. The software talks to the camera and pulls the temperature of the camera and then sets corrections for it. And I think that's done through the driver of the camera driver, and it keeps it within about a degree. You know, like right now it's at minus 15.6. A little earlier it was like minus 14.8, so that's right about a degree. That little black screen right there was me playing. I have a bad habit of doing that. Then things go just upside down. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, and it's, I don't know, is my voice delayed too? I would guess so. Ah, 10 more seconds. Oh, yeah, 10 more seconds.
Exposure finished.
Okay, here we go. Let's see if we get anything. I don't really see it in there, but I know from experience that if I take some pictures and when I stack them, that they'll turn out pretty decent. So I think we're going to go ahead and take some pictures anyway, and I'm going to go ahead and take this up to 180. And let's make sure I turn the guiding on. Yep, the guiding is on. And we'll go ahead and start. So that's going to take 15 minutes to take those pictures, those 5 pictures. And I'll probably do it once more because it's just now getting, well, let's see, it's midnight. Did I have anything at midnight? We could go get the Eagle, but might as well get more of this one here. I think we'll probably run this one 2, maybe even 3 times, and that'll put us close to 1, and then we can go look for the Cat's Eye Nebula. So, and since we're just waiting for exposures now, we'll go take a look here and let's see. Wants me to do some playing with an image, and let's see, M4. And right now M4 is 15 degrees and 175. So that means we'll have to be going to the, what did I do? Did I do the, oh no, there we go. Yeah, it's at 13 degrees. And so we've got about an hour, and then we have to slew back to M4 to get it. At least we'll get one on our Messier list. So, okay, so let's go ahead. Okay. Well, let's see now. We've taken star clusters, and what I'll do is I'll take this last picture of what's it? The bubble. I'll see if I can get something out of the single picture. So.
Exposure finished.
Okay,
Exposure started.
the last picture was at 11:50, so let's take that one. No, don't see anything. So let's save as file. As the pictures actually come out of the camera gray, and because the color data is as I understand it, I could be wrong, but basically the idea is correct. It comes out gray, and then the color information is added by what they call a debearer routine. And from what I understand, it takes the shades of gray and converts them because of the red, green, green, blue filters in there. It says that it adds the color into them. So we'll see what that does now, because we just I just debarred it, and that's going to be, oh no, wrong program or wrong file. There's the green. You notice last time I opened it, it was gray. Well, it's green because the human eye is very sensitive to green, so they responds best to green. So they make the filters in cameras there as red, green, green, blue, the three primary colors, and then they you know, when you process them, that compensates for that. So, and now I'm taking this green background out.
Exposure finished.
And oh, look at those ugly gray things. Yeah, there it is right there. I know you can't see it on YouTube, but right there is the bubble nebula. And I hope those flats take that out. Otherwise, this is such a man. Those are in the same spot, and I cleaned the lens this morning, so I know it's not the lens. It's got to be something either in the camera or the focal reducer. So I'll have to take a look at that to clean those up, because that's a lot of stuff to try and have to pull out. Now, because the nebula is right here, and these dust spots are far away from it, I can crop that out and get just the picture after I do all my stacking stuff. So yeah, if I play with the curves a little bit, and I don't know what curves are actually, I just use them. I can see it a little bit better. I like I say, I'm sure you can't see it on YouTube. But yeah, it's there. So that means I take those pictures and stack them. I'll be able to get a little bit better look at it. And this is because this is just one image. Once I put like 5-10 images in there, it'll show up better. Let's see. really not much I can do unless I go through the whole process. So, I'll explain some of the processes to you. There's a process to take the noise out. If you look at, oops, wrong. If you look at this picture here, you can see that noise in the background there, and you can smooth that out with the software. And one thing you can do, it's kind of for stuff this bad, it's kind of hokey, but you can, minor things, you can go like this. Oh, there we go. You can go like this, and then color in the, let me make this bigger so I can do more at once. I'm not going to save this picture, so see, you can
Exposure
if you have minor blemishes, you can do that. And I've done that before, and it's just, but no matter what you do, it looks, see,
exposure started.
what I will do is I don't care about covering up stars until I get to some of these prominent ones, and but yeah, so let's go back and see how our images are doing. Yeah, you can't see it in there, but like I say, it's there. It's, and some of the processes you go through here is you do image calibration. Remember I talked about the bias and darks, so I would load those light frames in the object that we photographed, and then I've got a master bias file here. I create a new bias file about every 2 months because that's something that doesn't change a lot. And then I've got a master dark frame, and that's as long as you're at the same temperature, every couple of months you're good for that. And then I save those later in case I want to go back and play with images again. I've got the proper darks, and then the master flat has to be done every time. When we get through tonight, I will make I will make flats that I can create into a master flat, because anytime you move the telescope, vibration will move the dust particles in the optic train, and so you'll not have the dust in the proper place if you do your flats wrong. You have to do it at the same focus point. If I wanted to focus right now on something else, adjust the focus of the telescope, that would screw up my flat frames. So we don't want to do that. So it's best to just leave the thing alone. This debear program, that's where it takes the black and white and adds the color to it. And then you do the star alignment. And what that does is it takes the pictures, you put a reference picture in here, and then you put your files down here, and when you hit the button, what it does is it goes through and it looks at the images, and it does a whole bunch of algorithms that look at the image here on this one, this picture, and then the same spot on the next picture, and they figure out what it should be. And it's more math and more technical than I can get. So then after you do the alignment of them, you bring them over and you bring them in here, and this is what actually takes all the pictures you've taken and combines them into one good picture. In fact, actually, I can do this, I think. Let's go to processed. And as long as we're doing it, I might as well do it good. Nope, I didn't save the... Yeah, all I saved was the final photos. But this would be... there's one we took of the Orion Nebula after we combined... I forget how long these were, but this was like... maybe an hour's worth of pictures. But yeah, let's go back here. That was, I think that was that one there. But here's what it started out as. The Orion Nebula is a very bright nebula, and it's fun to take pictures of, and it's and it's just gorgeous. But we would take all of these pictures here, and basically, if you look at them with your eye, they all look pretty much the same. But you would take all these pictures here and then run through that process I told you, and where you would do the image calibration and then the debarring and the alignment, and then that would come up with, and I closed it, didn't I? Yeah, that would come up. Well, you saw it. It's that. I hope this isn't the ugly one. Yeah, that's the ugly one. I didn't process that one the best. But anyhow, you take all those pictures and combine them, and then adjust the levels on them, and this is what you get. It's just gorgeous. So let's go back and check on our process here.
Exposure finished.
So, and it's 12:03. Looks like we're probably okay. We got,
Plan finished.
okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take another one. That'll give me 10 pictures. That'll be 30 minutes worth of exposure that we can work with, and hopefully that'll turn into a nice picture.
Exposure started.
So, but this is the boring part about it: waiting for things to finish, take pictures, And it's not like shooting with a regular camera where you take 30 pictures in a row and you can see them. You have to sit and wait. It'll be 30 minutes to capture this picture set, and it'll probably take me, I'm guessing probably better than an hour to process them. As part of the processing is that what looks good to me may not look good to you, and so it becomes a thing of personal taste. My producer and I get into discussions sometimes about whether it should look like this or look like that. And I said, well, if you want it to look like that, you make it look like that. I want it to look like this, so guess what? Oh, good night, Trish. A little late. You're probably already in bed. So, but fortunately, as far as astronomy goes, I'm in one of my, otherwise crummy sleep cycles. I go through about once a year where I get a point where I can't go to sleep before about 4 or 5 in the morning. And then I'm up about 8 or 9, usually. There are times I go longer. And then, this will last for maybe a month or two, and then I'll get back to normal. So, but since nobody else has come in here, actually, I think I'm going to go ahead and cut the stream because we're going to just be waiting for pictures to take, and with nobody, I mean, it's pretty boring, really, just watching paint dry. I'd like to have gotten the couple more of those. I might be able to get like M54, 55 because they're up around 11 degrees, and they'll be on the other side of the meridian. What happens is, as the scope travels in an arc, tracking the object, because it's going in an arc. If you can imagine starting at the bottom of a circle and then going up into the sky, making an arc, and then as you get to the top, when you start going down, then the telescope is going down, but the counterbalance weights on the other side start going up. And you don't want to have your weights on top of your telescope like that, because if they should, it's just bad for it. I'm told, and I believe it.
Exposure finished.
So what you have to do is you have to slew the telescope all the way back around from south. In our case right now, we're at south on the
Exposure started.
east side of the meridian, so we have to slew it all the way around south, up through north, and back down around to south again. And that's called a meridian flip. And that's at the time when you can get cables caught in the mount, as your power cable and your data cables that are hanging loose. They can get hung up somewhere and you can cause problems. But I've got mine pretty well ironed out. I don't have any qualms about making a meridian flip. I do a manual flip, which means I control it. Some guys will, like in this program here that I'm imaging with, I can set it up to do an automatic image meridian flip, and it'll do it automatically. In fact, I can actually set this thing up to where it'll take pictures while I'm asleep, but I that's not what I'm in this for. I enjoy the just doing it. But like I say, I do the meridian flip, and I can watch my camera here from the observatory, which is actually my bedroom, and see the camera. If there's any kind of problem crops up, it'll show it to me, and I can hit the stop button on the mount controller. Like if I hit that stop button right now, everything stops and no guiding. PhD would go crazy and whatnot. So yeah, I'm comfortable with doing a meridian flip now. The first dozen times or so we did it, one of us would go out and watch the mount, and he says, yeah, that went around, didn't it? It went around, didn't it? We never did have a cable problem, cable snag or anything like that. And the way I have the mount controller set up, it does almost a horizontal slew, so the weights don't hit into the weights or the telescope don't hit into the tripod. So that's about it. I'm through babbling. I've talked about as much as I can. Questions or comments, leave them below, and if I can answer them, I'll answer them. If I can't, I'll let you know I can't. Okay, good night.